Okay, today's video is going to be a review, a sort of a very quick walkthrough of the AutoSync scheduler, which is a new feature. I had a lot of requests for this, and when I looked at the request, I kind of realized like, wow, it's really needed. A 5 minute interval as a default sync was just too much. I think at the time the version 5 was written, there was sort of like this idea of almost having a pseudo real time sync, but as it turns out, not really necessary. And I mean, you can still sync every 10 minutes if you want, but I have a feeling that most people are probably going to be happy to sync a couple times a day. It's a two-way sync, so it's not like you're not losing anything on the portal side. It's going to record and it's going to show everything correctly. So as long as your data is getting transmitted back to your QuickBooks file and pertinent information is going out to the portal as needed, then everything should run fine. If you're doing a lot of invoicing all day long, then yeah, by all means, maybe publish to run your sync you know every hour or even less. So let me run through it how it works really fast. The configuration right now is really simple. The schema for the scheduler actually has a lot more features, and they're just not been implemented yet because this first iteration is kind of a test run to make sure everything's working fine. But later, when we implement the rest of the features, like running it only at certain times of the day or having multiple schedules, one for the weekend, one for the weekday, that's all going to be coming. And the schema for that's already built. So what you're seeing on the screen now is just a simple version of what's already available. Okay, so really quick, you've got an interval time frame, which is what you're already used to, except that the default was always 5 minutes. So right now you have a minimum value of 10 minutes, so I increase it a little bit for the minimum, and then you can either choose hours or minutes. Okay, so let's do let's say 3 hours. Let's switch that to hours and save it. And if I go back here and I implement my countdown, it's going to be from 3 hours. Also shows the next time, which is something new. We didn't do that before. So let's go back to minutes. Let's say we want to do every 30 minutes. I'll save that. And when I enable, same thing, counting down from 30 minutes. So pretty simple. I like the fact that now it shows you kind of exactly what time this is going to kick off, even though it does show a countdown, but I can know right away, okay, this is going to run it at 6:15 approximately. The other one is specific times. So I already configured a couple in here. So for example, I want to run it 7:30 in the morning before the start of business. I want to run it mid-morning, one time after lunch, one time middle afternoon, and one time right after closing hours. So if I save that and I go to sync, now I can list out these are my sync times, and then the next sync will occur at 6:30. If you're already running, you have it enabled, and you go back to the scheduler, it'll let you view it, but you can't make any changes while AutoSync is enabled. Kind of for obvious reasons, you don't want to be editing the schedule while it's active. So if you really want to change something, just disable that, and I can go back in and change something. Here's something interesting. Let's say it's already after 5 o'clock. I'll just leave that last time slot off. So the last time of the day that I'll run, I'll change it to 5 o'clock. Okay, and local time it's after 5 o'clock. So what happens now? Well, it'll just simply, the next sync will then be 7:30 in the morning the following day. So when I save, and let's go back and enable it, you'll see the next time it will run is tomorrow, next day at 7:30 a.m. I know it's a little bug here. This second line seems to go away when it pings the server. So before this goes live, before this gets released, I'll check that and make sure it's fixed in the installer. Make sure it installs the right version that has this patch. So anyway, that's it. It's like I said, very simple to use. A couple other things that changed are the overall application for version 5.1. Things have been streamlined a little bit. Older DLLs were removed. Like all the code was cleaned up. There was kind of just went through every single module and cleaned up everything, updated all of the .NET components to the latest version. And then on the server side, because we had some issues going on there with data, with sometimes duplicates and a few other really strange problems, and actually found the root of that problem and already resolved that a couple days ago. And I've been running queries periodically to make sure that the data still looks good and clean, and it is. So it looks like that problem is solved. If you do see anything like that, let me know right away. Shoot me an email, create a support ticket, or use the in-app chat to report that so that I can look into it. But I think we got it solved. So anyway, I hope this new feature works well for you guys. Let me know what you think of it. Use the Facebook page if you want to make a comment, or if you want to send a message or whatever, and feel free to give me feedback on it.